right. What is up, everybody? It's the Life of an Average Joe podcast here. Brandon Navera. We've got the percentage thing going on in the corner. I'm hoping that it speeds up. That usually tells me that things are okay on the podcast. It's not moving a decimal right now, so got me a little freaked out. I'll keep an eye on it. There it goes. Boom goes the dynamite. We're good, guys. Okay. So I am here, and I'm joined once again by my good buddy Nick Luck, and he might be wearing the Sharknado hat, which is stupid dope, not super dope, stupid dope. I'm making new words up, and I'm just trying to chop some things up and combine words and see, and we can get some new slang going. Um,
I love it.
He's getting a Sharknado. I'm about to get into a tornado. So we've got a massive storm coming. I forgot the name of it already, but like Nick said, it sounds like a freaking Mexican dish. It's like I don't know what it means, but apparently it's a rare, large storm that doesn't happen very often. But the potential for one is already growing in Oklahoma, and it's also coming from other parts. And apparently, it's going to be 90% coverage of the state of Texas. And guys, if you don't know what the state of Texas, how the size of Texas is huge, dude. Huge, okay? Like you can drive like 5-6 hours and still be in Texas. You can drive 8 hours and still be in Texas. Like it's just stupid. So we're going to get this storm allegedly. This is one of those things that they're either going to get it right, it's going to happen, or something's going to shift and this storm's not going to happen. Or at least hit us. I'm okay with it not hitting us. I'm good with that. I'll take some rain and wind. I don't need 90-mile-per-hour winds. Like when they sit there and they're like, hey, we got winds 90 miles per hour and golf ball size hail, and don't park your car by a tree. I'm like, that's a freaking tornado. That's not a storm. That's a tornado. What are you doing? But anyway, so if the power goes out, if the internet goes out, this is going to be a great podcast.
Hopefully that's not meaning that Galactus is coming. Hopefully it's not foreboding
If you
the
guys
storm, I mean.
curse and all of a sudden detach my headphones and take the camera into the closet, Galactus is on his way. So, but speaking of Galactus, we're here. This is going to be a fun series. We teased it a little bit when we did the Star Wars episode. And this is going to be part one of a 2-part series, but you're not going to get part 2 till July, okay? Because this is our Fantastic Four part 1, the Fantastic Four First Steps, which drops July 25th. Tickets are on sale right now, by the way, which I always thought that was a little early. They went on sale last week. I thought that was like pretty early for them to go on sale, even for a big movie.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I completely forgot they actually were out already.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick mine up. I have a credit with Cinemark because the Cinemark Club, and I'm just going to use that credit for a Fantastic Four movie. But, this really has been one of probably the most highly anticipated Marvel films, I think anyway, in a long time, because it is really Marvel's first family. I mean, we've gotten the Avengers, we've got some major characters, but when you look about the other teams, like X-Men and Midnight Suns, those are teams. They're not family. This is legitimately a family. Like, this is like Reed Richards, Sue Storm married. Okay? Like, this is a family. And what I'm excited about with Fantastic Four, and I'll let Nick dive in, is not just the casting, but the way that they're handling it. Number one, I'm a big fan that we're not really diving into an origin story. We are going to get, I know, right? We're going to obviously hear about what happened, how they got their powers, but it's not an origin movie. I love the fact that they are established in this film, and Um, not only are they aware of who, sorry, I zoned out there. Not only are they aware of who they are, but they are praised and they're heroes and they've saved the universe and all those things. So I love that. I love the fact that it is not in a modern timeline. Wherever world they're in or timeline they're on, it's set in the 60s. I think that's really cool, actually, um, because it shows a little kind of a new side to the MCU and kind of shows some other things that maybe we haven't seen before. But Nick, what do you think initially? Just initially, because I've put the no spoilers. I've put the complete. I'm not watching anything about it. I saw the teaser. I saw the first trailer. I'm done. I'm out. I'm not watching the next trailer. I'm not watching anything. But what you've seen and what you know, what do you think about the way they're setting up the Fantastic Four from being established and in the '60s, which is very different?
Yeah, man. It's really great. I'm really happy that they're doing it where they're already established because it's something that since this is technically the Fantastic Four's first true, well, their first steps in the actual MCU,
Yeah.
um, we don't, we technically don't need to know their origin story anymore because we've had other movies that established their origin story. And it's not necessarily needed for their story anyway. And I'm sure, like you said, they'll talk about it anyway. From the trailer, they had already talked about it. That first teaser trailer, they had already talked about it anyway. So that's really all you need to know. You know, they went into space and they got cosmic rays. They got that radiation. So that's it really. So it's pretty cool of where they're doing this, and I like that it seems like it's an homage to. I want to say that wasn't that the is that the time period they were supposed to take place in back then when they originated in the comics, or was that before then, way before then?
That I don't know. I mean, I look. I'm not. I don't even remember the year they debuted in the comics.
It
So
might have been way before that, actually. Now that I think about it, but either way, when I first saw the announcement that they were like coming to the MCU finally, this major hype, I started reading the comics, the OG comics,
yeah, I remember you
and
telling me about that. You went back into like the first episode, or not first episode, first appearance, and all that.
yeah, it was really cool, and just seeing things like how the scroll, how early they appear, and how fast a lot of these enemies, a lot of these characters are already established
Right.
right then and there. So I'm ready.
Do you think that we are going to, because we know they're established in this movie. We know that they're like, I mean, they're praised. They are the heroes. Do you think we're going to hear about, and it might not be a lot, but they're going to mention maybe some of their other battles they've had? Maybe like, you know, let's look back at the Fantastic Four when they saved us from so and so. Like, are they going to, try to incorporate some of those villains from the comic books into this movie as far as like just letting us know, like, dude, these guys have been doing it for a while. You know what I mean? Um,
Hmm.
I think that I kind of could see them doing that. I also heard a rumor, I don't know if this is true or not. They're the only superheroes in this timeline.
Ah,
Well, now
that's interesting.
I say in this timeline because that Marvel hasn't told us what timeline they're in or anything yet. But in this
Yeah.
period, in this piece of whatever, I heard a rumor, and again, I don't know if this is true, that they are the only
Hmm.
heroes in this, which is why everybody loves them so much. Because there's not 15 other heroes.
Yep.
If that's the case, we already know it's in a different timeline. If that's the case, then they're going to be equally as shocked when they manage to come over into whatever timeline they're coming into. When they meet, I mean, like, think about it.
That's
You
gonna
know?
be a bombshell.
Well, I mean, like, guys, spoilers ahead if you haven't seen the Thunderbolts. In the post-credit scene of the Thunderbolts, we get a glimpse of what appears to be the Fantastic Four's vessel entering Earth's atmosphere, that timeline's atmosphere. It's got the Fantastic Four logo on it, and the Thunderbolts are like, what is going on? And this is just after they talked about, well, there's that thing going on in space. Well, what thing is it? Does it have to do with like an excursion? Does it have to do with the multiverse, or does it have to do with the Fantastic Four coming in? If they come in and they're seeing the Thunderbolts right away, they're going to be so confused. If indeed that is the Fantastic Four and not someone else pretending to be the Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah.
What if it's Doom? What if Doom gets off that ship and just immediately just kills the Thunderbolts, just dead? Like I mean,
I'm gonna
like
be so mad.
I would be so mad, but at the same time, I'd be like, all right, because I always want people to die. Um,
Well, that's a great way to establish his power.
right. But it's interesting though to think about, if they are the only heroes then, and they've stopped all these people, then those villains got to believe that they're the only heroes too. So it would explain why Doom could be like, okay, I need to get out of this timeline and gain my power in the other multiverses, um, and then go back and maybe defeat the Fantastic Four. But I get ahead of myself. Um, I'm really curious because what I'm gathering from the film is it's going to really focus on Sue Storm. Mind you, a pregnant Sue Storm. And we all know who that baby is.
Yep.
And we
Ryan
all know,
Gosling,
and we, and we all know that baby,
the new Black Panther.
the new Black Panther, is coming out. You said it.
That universe is Black Panther.
That universe is stretchy Black Panther. Oh, the whitest of the Black Panthers. Um, anyway, but we know that baby is about to grow up to be one of the toughest heroes
Yeah.
if he can make it. Could be
Right.
another reason why Doom wants the Fantastic Four dead is because he knows about that baby. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on her being pregnant right away in the first movie? What do you think they're going to do with that?
I like that they're kicking off with that because the idea of, because right from the beginning, in Multiverse of Madness, I was already thinking about this sort of scenario kicking off. Because I think, who talked about it? I want to say King Lion had talked about it, or someone in that area, in that ring, had talked about the idea of how screwed that variant of Wanda was going to probably be, because when they found out that some Wanda had killed, not only the Illuminati, but Reed Richards,
Oh yeah,
Franklin Richards' dad.
yeah,
And yeah, but the other thing is too, we don't, while there wasn't that much established in that universe, it was interesting to think about, like, well, clearly it's well established, but now that we have it, like, now that we have this Fantastic Four and that she's pregnant and we can get that going, I like that they're hitting the ground running with that plot line. And they can build that up because we know, like, Franklin Richards is a really big deal. And his sister as well, of course.
true.
So it's going to be very cool to see what they decide to do with that. Hopefully, if anything, um, in the coming years, depending on what they decide to do, because with comics you can do whatever you want, honestly. So I'm very excited to see that, because it's they could have waited for it. They could have just focused on the Fantastic Four themselves, but the idea that they're throwing in that baby element right then and there is a very interesting element.
It's a big one too. I mean, like you said, I mean, we're just establishing the Fantastic Four in the MCU. So that is a lot to take in. Let alone now you're adding that character in Franklin in the whole baby situation. And then not to mention you're also introducing us to Galactus in the movie, and you're introducing us to a Silver Surfer, whether it's the Silver Surfer or not. You're introducing us to a. I think to me that is the most interesting.
Hmm.
I don't know how I feel about it still, and I only say that because that Silver Surfer, who she is in the comics, it's not like she has a massive history. She has a history, okay, and it's not like she's just some whatever character. There's a ton of history on this Silver Surfer, if this is who it is. But I feel like if you're gonna bring the Silver Surfer for the masses and like to people that are from, why didn't you just go with the male Silver Surfer? Like, it was a weird take. I don't know. I think it's a weird take. I'm not anti it because I haven't seen the movie. I don't know how it's gonna play out yet. Like, I don't know, but it was just kind of a weird, interesting take. So they're throwing a lot of wild stuff into this movie, clocking in at 2 hours and 18 minutes. I feel like it should be probably longer, but you never know. Um, just
2 hours isn't too bad though.
yeah, no, no, for sure. Just for it to end on some sort of inevitable cliffhanger to
Yeah.
lead us right in to Doomsday, to lead us into Secret War, or I'm trying to talk. Um, you know,
Hmm.
so I almost said Secret Invasion, and I was like, what? That's not it. Um,
Secret
but
Invasion 2.
Secret, yeah. So like to introduce us into that, which is already going to have so much going on. So I hope that they can establish this movie as its own thing while still leading into the next several films. I would hate the Fantastic Four just to be a launch and a segue into the next films. I really want it to be able to for it to be its own movie while still taking us down the road into the future.
Yeah. I do like the idea of them using a different female, or yeah, a different female.
Fair enough.
I mean, this is a different Silver Surfer, excuse me. Um, a different Silver Surfer, just because with this adaptation of the comics, they love to play around with stuff and see what sticks, and a lot of times it does work, and then other times it's like, like with Taskmaster, for instance,
Yeah.
didn't quite land as well as it could have.
No.
And then, of course, we saw what happened when the Thunderbolts. That
Took care of
was,
that situation right away.
yeah. And for me, I'm like, I don't see that quite happening with Silver Surfer, but I think this is one of those situations where they're kind of just playing around with an idea where they're doing a different take just to see how it goes. And if it takes off, then they can play around with the story. And because this is supposed to be is this supposed to be the wife of the original Silver Surfer, or
So that's the thing. If you look at the wife of the original Silver Surfer, then I don't know because they haven't said. And I don't know if it's the female, because isn't the wife of the Silver Surfer and then the other girl Silver Surfer completely different? Or am I confused? I look.
That I'm not sure.
I'm
I have
not
to
an
refresh my
expert.
mind.
Definitely not an expert in that. I'm not claiming to be. I
Yeah.
know I can just read the comics and figure it out. But if this is the OG wife of the original Silver Surfer, then where's the original Silver Surfer? Because he came first, right? Right. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that's the thing I don't understand. But they could also just be playing around with this because it is in a different timeline. So it gives them
Hmm.
opportunity to bring the Silver Surfer back as the man Silver Surfer that most people know. Because again, they're not going to get rid of that character in one movie, and they're not going to get rid of Galactus in one movie. That wouldn't make any sense to get rid of Galactus in one movie because I don't think that Galactus dies in this movie. I just don't.
That would be a tremendous waste.
I think he wins. I think he destroys their world. I think he destroys
Hmm.
their timeline. I think that's what brings the Silver Surfer here. Or not Silver Surfer, that brings Fantastic Four into the MCU timeline, the 616.
I like that idea because it's refreshing to see, especially with what they kind of build up in the trailer, that even Reed, he isn't sure if they can win. He feels at fault for reaching out into with his research deeper into space, deeper into the travels, finding out what is out there, and he accidentally made contact with Galactus, and now they're kind of screwed. So I like the idea of them doing their absolute best and failing. But and I like that it's a flip of the script too of their original comic debut with the Galactus, where they were able to defeat him by outsmarting him. Like I think the Watcher had warned them of Galactus, and they were able to beat him that way. And it would be really cool, a nice little flip of the script. And it definitely would be refreshing because we don't get to see that often, especially with a big character like Galactus.
No.
Yeah, it's good, I think.
And this is a celestial type level of destruction that, yeah, we had Thanos and we knew what Thanos could do. Probably the biggest villain, I think, to really face anybody in the MCU. Ultron was on his way there, but didn't quite get there. Um, I know, like
At
when
least
you,
we got Infinity Ultron.
oh, that
He
was,
was cooler.
yeah, and I like the idea of Ultron potentially coming back in that Vision series. Where they're gonna have that. We're finally get to see the White Vision and kind of see what happened to him. And they already said that Ultron's back. We don't know how though. We don't know if it got caught up because this White Vision went exploring and found we don't know, but they are going.
Hey yo.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. So we don't know what that means exactly. I have no idea, but it's going to be interesting to see how Ultron came back, what form he came back, and how does that tie into White Vision. But we really haven't had an MCU villain reach the level of catastrophic chaos like Thanos um, at all. I mean, the Celestials, yes, but we're looking at Galactus. He is the biggest threat currently to the MCU. We're not talking about Doom or anything. So being able to have Galactus come to that planet and quote unquote win, I think that's the best direction that they could go. You can't have him lose. You can't have them. You've got to show that these heroes failed because it's only going to help them out in their future battles as they come over into the next several films.
Especially since they have this established winning streak. The people love them. They are pretty much unchallenged, unrivaled, and this is this, I mean, they've might have had other challenges before they were where they maybe weren't too sure how they were going to come up on top, but
Sure.
this one is like definitely a whole nother level. You can tell it's, especially with Reed, it's hit him to his core, and he's
Oh,
really not sure how it's going to hit. So I feel like if they don't have it that way, I don't know how else they would be able to end this movie with it feeling fulfilled, unless there's some kind of other crazy multiversal nuts kind of stuff they pull in, but something along those lines. Yeah.
yeah, and I think the biggest thing is that we've seen from the bits and pieces is, Reed is trying to do his research. We see that bridge. He's trying to do that little interdimensional bridge, which is probably the thing that got him in trouble in the first place. Because he went too far into space and ran into a brick wall. Um, and you hear it. He's like, I just can't do this, and I don't know how we're gonna get out of this. And now they're just like trying to survive. Like they realize like it's coming. So do we tuck our tails and run, or do we try to survive as we got this baby on our way? And that's where the family perspective comes in because we haven't seen those stakes. This is, yes, they're there to save the world. Yes, they don't want to die, but now you've got to save your unborn child. The pressure and the stress. So I'm really looking forward to see how they handle that, and really how they handle Galactus. I mean, that's been the biggest, like, so far what we've seen of him. I think it looks awesome. Like I'm all in,
Yeah. I I for sure want to get that popcorn bucket. I
bro.
love the idea that it's like you can just
It
eat the
is
popcorn out his head.
bro. It's $80, bro.
What?
Yep. By the way, the first thunder just hit, guys. Just thought I'd tell you. Um, yeah, it is $80 popcorn bucket. Oh my god,
That thing better be made out of adamantium. Like,
dude! Not
bruh.
that. Its eyes light up. By the way, but it's 60 inches tall. No, yeah, it's super. Like it's like this, bro.
Hey yo,
$80 is a lot, dude.
that is a lot.
Is it
Oh
epic?
man.
I can't drop 80 on it.
Dang.
I know.
I could see doing 50.
I
50 would be
thought it
my
was gonna.
cap though.
I thought it was gonna be. You know what I'm hoping though? I'm hoping like they have some really cool cups and stuff. I'll get a cup, but I'm hoping that they have other popcorn tins that are cool. You know what I mean? Like nothing that's going to compare to that necessarily. They also have the robot, whatever the robot's name is. I always forget. Uh,
Ooh,
and the robot
yeah, I forgot his name.
is a. It comes with everything. It's got the popcorn and the beverage, and I guess apparently it's got like these little side things where you can put snacks in it. It's a pretty cool one. I think that's pretty expensive
Like
too.
1,000.
Yeah, yeah, that's five G's. Um,
You can put a down payment on it.
yeah, really affirm on that one. But the I'm hoping they have some other cool tens, man. Because I already know, dude, I can't justify dropping $80 on that thing.
Yeah,
It's
that's,
epic.
oh my gosh.
I would never be able to buy another bucket again. It would be like this is my final bucket. You know,
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, $80. I'm so salty at that.
pizza. And then I'm trying to figure out like, is it justifiable? Like, you're gonna have a ton of popcorn in there, but $80, dude. This thunder right now is shaking my floor.
That's Galactus telling you to get the popcorn bucket
Yeah, bruh.
because he gets commission off those buckets.
Bro, I gotta look. You think you don't think it costs money to make me look this good? They gotta pay for the effects, dude. I
Exactly.
need I need to sell
Costs money to maintenance his armor.
I need 45 buckets per show. Um, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the popcorn bucket. I think it's epic. I'm not gonna buy it. I already admit that. And I'm weird on popcorn buckets anyway. I'm still mad that I never got the Xenomorph popcorn bucket that I hunted down for months, like even leading up to Alien Romulus. And they tell me they got him there, and I literally left my house, went to get it, and they're like, "No, we sold out." I'm like, "It took me 9 minutes to get here. 9 minutes. I called you. You said you had it. 9 minutes."
Oh, they even put one aside? That's so
Man,
lame.
yeah. I mean, I got the. You can't see it. It's somewhere over here. I got a cup. I don't know where it is, but and it's an Alien Romulus cup, and you turn it upside down, and like the slime comes through. It's cool, but I wanted the popcorn head, the xenomorph head, And then I do got my TNT from Minecraft bucket over here. That one's dope. And then I have a Thunderbolts one in the corner, and up top I have monk. Is it which one is that? Oh, from the Monkey movie, the Killer Monkey. Yeah, the Killer Monkey movie. Uh, but I got that one by accident because I literally went to go to the movies. I ordered popcorn, and when I got to my seat because the food was waiting there, I got that when I went to see Captain America: Brave New World. I got the Red Hulk cup, and oh, sirens going off now, guys. Hold on. I
Oh,
don't,
snap.
I don't know if you guys can hear the sirens. I don't know. Yeah, it's going off.
Nah, I can't hear him so far.
Hold on. Hold on. Oh shit! It's loud.
Oh, I heard the thunder.
Yeah, bro.
Yo.
I'm gonna. All right, guys. We're gonna keep this going as long as we can here on the Life of an Average Joe podcast. Uh, Sirens, dude. That did not. At 9 o'clock on the dot, they're like 9:20 tornado. I mean, that's like movies, bro. Anyway, yeah. So whatever. But I went to Captain America: Brave New World, and I went there and I just ordered like not a bucket, just popcorn. And I saw the bucket sitting there, and I was like, "Did they charge me for that?" Like, and I look, and they didn't charge me, and I'm like, but I told them because I was trying to be honest. And I was like, "Hey guys, I didn't pay for this." They're like, "Ah, it's our bad, just keep it." I'm like, "Okay." So
Hey, yo.
but anyway, so what do you think? Here's a couple questions because I don't know how much time we have left before I'm sucked up by Galactus. Um, it's so crazy. How do you think we'll see Doomsday in Fantastic Four? Doctor Doom in Fantastic Four.
I think for sure they'd have to. They definitely gotta establish him. They cannot make the same mistake they did with Kang, because you can tell by the way they handled that whole issue that they had to literally write this guy. They had to write this character out.
Yeah,
That it was so fumbled.
yeah,
So they have to establish this guy to some degree in the Fantastic Four movie for this to work, especially with Doomsday coming so soon. And while so many people know who Doom is, like this guy is too big of a character to just be like he's literally I hate to say it this way, but he Doom literally became the what's the word? He's the character that replaced Kang. What's the crap? What's that word? When you break up with someone and you get with he's the rebound. That Doom was the rebound.
bro. Doom is the rebound villain, bro.
Yeah,
This
like
should be
that's
Kang.
literally what Doom
The
was.
Kang dynasty should have been crushing. Like Kang. Don't get me started, dude. They
Yeah,
they fumbled
mm,
that so quick. Fumbled it.
I
Fumbled it.
don't care whatever excuse they have. They literally were printing money and they just dropped the ball. Kang. was literally the perfect villain.
Well,
But anyway, yeah.
the thing that sucked too is, like we've said before, Jonathan Majors was great in that role. We saw him play three different versions of Kang. And I'm telling you right now, dude, we were ready. It was Disney and Marvel that screwed up that story. I don't care what happened with Jonathan
Yep.
Majors outside. Okay, that was a different situation. But the story was our. If it wasn't for Loki, Kang's storyline would have been trash.
Yeah. Without a doubt. There's theories he may come back, but who knows? Who knows really? That's up in the air. So
Sorry, I got the alert popped up on all my computers and the phone, so it just zoned out. It was the weather alert popped up, letting me know that it's here. I
Galactus
know.
is here.
It's like thunderstorm warning, and I'm like, bro, we're past that. Okay, like, and then it's like and it showed it like how you get alerts, showed the radar real quick, and it's just this big red like thing. I'm like, this Texas is nuts, bro. You
Yo.
know, I'm just sitting here like, I'm good. It's fine. Everything's fine. You know, I'm just gonna go dive in my closet. That's the safest place, I think. I don't know. Um, there's no windows in there. It's a deep closet. It doesn't face an outside wall. I think that's the safest place, from what I've heard. Anyway, so
Makes
yeah,
sense.
the bathroom would be because you get inside the bathtub and just kind of duck down and
Yeah.
hope for the best. But my bathroom does face an outdoor hallway, so I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Um, but yeah, they screwed up Kang so bad. So the fact that Doom is a rebound, he's got to be in this movie, bro. He's right to
Yeah.
some degree. Like I don't know, care if it's a post credit scene. I don't care if he's like maybe the reason that maybe he is the reason Galactus. Maybe it wasn't Reed. Maybe Doom brought Galactus to that world.
That would be a good twist.
Reed think, Reed thinks it's
Yo.
him, and it ends up being Doom that brings Galactus there to destroy the world, just so they can escape, so Doom can follow.
Yo. It was me the whole time, Reed.
What and will they do the reveal that it's Robert Downey Jr.? We know it's Robert Downey Jr., but will they show Robert Downey Jr. or just will he be in the mask? You know what I mean? Like, I guess if
Oh
you have to
man.
show that it's RDJ, you got to pay him more. So just keep the mask on.
Yeah, they're gonna wait for
Just
that.
keep the mask on and let him do voiceover, kind of like Mandalorian.
Yeah. They're gonna have to double the movie's revenue
I know.
to make that back.
How much money do you think this movie makes? What's your prediction?
Um, I forget how much it is costing to make it, but I want to say it's at least for sure getting its money back, and then at least a quarter more of that.
Do you think it's $1 billion movie like Deadpool and Wolverine?
I want it to be,
Sure, me too.
but I think I think there are too many haters out there that are gonna look at the female Silver Surfer and quiver in their pants and be like, I don't like that. I'm not gonna watch it because Marvel's woke now.
Yeah, that checks. There'll be multiple TikTok people having babies about it and being totally
Yeah.
okay. Here's
Yeah, they're gonna be like, "Oh, it's too woke. I can't watch
our
this. This is
well,
stupid," and go against
the
it. So,
Silver Surfer's not silver enough.
yeah.
Um, do you think? Um, that's my Alexa telling me that there's a storm coming. Everybody's telling me. I feel like I can hear it, guys. Um, do you think? Okay. Do you think it beats Superman in the money making aspect? Not quality of movie, because we will have a Superman uh, 2-part episode coming up. But do you think that
Yeah.
it beats it as far as money in the movie theater?
I want it to,
Sure.
but I think Superman's gonna beat it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't. I think the opposite. I think I
I
think
I think Superman's gonna beat it just because James Gunn's behind it, so they have that because he has that reputation, and then the um just because it's Superman, Superman usually does good because DC knows. That's why they keep crapping out DC, Superman and Batman stuff.
I think Fantastic Four does good because despite Marvel having a bad whatever, um, there's Thunderbolts was very well received and did pretty well at the box office. Some people are like, "Oh, it's the worst Marvel movie. It didn't make its money." But if you look at what it is, and the time that it was out, I mean, nobody anticipated. I did not anticipate Thunderbolts to be that good. I'll be honest, I anticipated it to be entertaining, but I didn't anticipate it to be that good. And it was way better than I thought it was. It exceeded my expectations. Probably one of the best Marvel movies to come out in a long time. Um, so I think now that people realize it, they're like, "Ooh, well, maybe Fantastic Four is going to be good." Plus, it's just the Fantastic Four, and it's Galactus, so they're like, "Okay." So I think that'll draw more people in than Superman. I think this film will come close, but I don't think it's going to hit a billion. I think it'll come very close, so I think it's going to do very well. The reason that I think it's going to do better than Superman is because there are so many James Gunn haters out there, and the Zack Snyder cult is strong. So
Yeah.
they are they
Oh man, that's true.
they will boycott that movie even if Zack Snyder comes out and says, "Bro, it's 10 out of 10," they will not watch it. You know, because they don't like
Yeah.
the gun, they don't like the suit. They're still screaming about Cavill. They're not going to watch it, and those guys will spend the day watching 9 hours of the Snyder cut from the Justice League and talk about how it's the greatest movie ever made before they go see this movie. So, and also the fact that DC fans, they don't go to movies. They don't. Like, they sit there and they talk about it. They talked about The Flash. Okay, we know that, Ezra sucks, and all this, but The Flash is going to be awesome. And they never showed up. And it wasn't awesome. It was not a good. They didn't show up. Oh, Blue Beetle, yeah, this should be really fun. They didn't show up. Like, they're not going to show up. They're not. So I don't think that Superman is going to beat the Fantastic Four. I think more Marvel fans and just comic book fans in general and people will just go see Superman than the true quote unquote DC fans. But I think this is going to be a good launch. If this thing gets close to a billion, if it hits a billion even, but let's just say if it gets close to a billion, then you're looking at Doomsday. Doomsday's getting a billion plus, dude. I think Doomsday. I
Yeah.
think Doomsday hits a billion just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Just out of
I love the idea too that Fantastic Four is also coming off of the fringes of us finding out that the Thunderbolts movie wasn't a Thunderbolts movie, it was an Avengers movie.
and which is totally wild, right?
Yeah, like that still blows my mind. And after the end of it, I'm like, wow, that did feel like an Avengers movie.
That's what I'm saying. And like, it might be a different team, but I mean, the reveal, the marketing, everything they did for Thunderbolts, from the marketing to the reveal, absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. So finding out that that's an Avengers movie throws a whole different wrench into the plans for the Thunderbolts. So there's a theory going around that Doom gets out of Fantastic Four's jet, spaceship, and approaches the Thunderbolts and spins it to where the Thunderbolts join Doom to help him save the world to be the heroes that they've always wanted to be, and they end up being played against all the other factions that come in. And Doom starts building his team, which is why you have these X-Men and Fantastic. That's the rumor. I don't know how I feel about it. It's super interesting though.
That's sick too, and it's a good build up because that is essentially what was being built off of like how Civil War was. Like we had these teams that were divided, and then going into Infinity War, the teams were divided and trying to do their own thing, fight the battle against Thanos in their own way. And we saw how they were trying to do that and had their own different perspectives of what was going on. And we see in Thunderbolts how we have the licensed Avengers, the new Avengers, and um, then we have Captain America's Avengers team that he wants to put together, which I'd imagine he might retitle them the West Coast Avengers. Avengers, I guess. I don't know.
Or
Um,
yeah, but
or something. I don't
we
know.
also don't even know. Like, I mean, who does he have? Bucky. Yeah.
Well, I think Bucky will probably stay on the
Oh,
Thunderbolts new Avengers team,
yeah.
honestly.
You're right. Now that I think about that, because that's he was left with the Thunderbolts right at the end.
Yeah, so probably like the Ant family.
Oh yeah,
They probably go over there. Shuri maybe.
maybe. But she, I don't know what.
The other, ooh, uh, the strange people.
Maybe
Um, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see Spider-Man.
Spider-Man doesn't really know any of the others on the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, so he'd probably default to Captain America because at least there's something established there.
Well,
So,
then if you bring in, Kate Bishop, she's probably going to go with Elena. They have that
mm,
connection now, and I'm okay. At both
yo,
that. I can look at you.
yeah,
Hey, so I'm good with that. Um,
that's what makes this kind of this is what makes it all so dope because I'm trying to remember all the people that are cast in the movie and that type of division, that storyline that you brought up, that theory is so dope. If because that's something Doom would try to
of
do,
course,
and especially if it's going to a new area, a new place he doesn't know, a familiar but unfamiliar
uh,
territory,
and the other thing,
an Earth. So it's like, yeah,
you got to think about some of these other characters. Where's Loki? He's still holding it together, right? He's holding,
he's got to be tired by now.
but Doom got to know because he's not dumb and he's very smart. So Doom knows about the multiverse. How much does he know? Does Loki finally die for real?
Oh,
You know, you got to look at that. And then you got to look at some of these other characters too. Like, where's Thor? He's running around with this daughter creature, but we know Thor's coming. We know Thor's coming. He's going to be there. Does Thor, is this the final one for Thor? Does he die? Because I don't
yeah,
think we get another appearance. I don't think we'll ever get that Thor Hercules weird post credit scene that made no sense. Um, I think
yeah, that's a
I
shame.
think this is Thor's last appearance in these films, and I think that we get like, yeah, he's going to be funny, but I think we get hardcore Thor in these movies, dude. I think I think
Oh yeah,
that redemption. He doesn't want to have his last movie be just comic thing, He wants to go back to being like it was cool the way they turned Thor into kind of a funny moment, but we need to see that even Fat Thor when he was going after Thanos, you know, dude, he was pissed and he was bad, dude. I want to see Thor crashing down on Wakanda, ready to just thrash people up, dude. Still one of the greatest entrances ever in Infinity War when Thor just came down, crashing. Groot's next to him, Rocket's there. They're just thrashing people. Just the coolest thing ever, dude. That's the Thor we need.
Yeah,
So it'll be interesting to see that. It'll be interesting how they're going to put Namor in because we got Namor coming back. How is Namor? Which I'm super excited about. I liked his character a lot. Um, where,
a lot of powerhouses.
dude, where does he fit? You know, they're at peace with Wakanda,
Yeah,
but where does he fit? So it's going to be interesting to see who makes it, who survives. I think we can basically admit that all the OG X Men, the Fox X Men they're done. Like they're dead.
I forgot they were in this.
Dude, they got OG Nightcrawler back, bro. OG Nightcrawler.
I'm so pumped about that. Oh
We get,
man,
you know what's really cool? We get to see Professor Xavier die one more time. One more time.
I'm so mad they keep killing this dude off.
It's bad enough Wanda came in and was like, let me just break your neck. And then we got Logan. Let's not, we saw him die in the X Men cartoon. Now we get to see him die one more time.
I was holding out hope that he might have survived in multiverse. I was holding out hope. It was like, oh, he's redeeming. He's helping Doctor Strange. Oh, his next. Okay. Oh,
It's his next.
okay.
I did a 360 and then a 180 on top of it. No, he dead, bro. Also, no offense, but dude, like they're 109. Um, Charles Xavier is 150 in this movie. Like, like he's not gonna have a lot of moments. But it's gonna be exciting, and I think the one thing they got to balance out with Fantastic Four is, like I said earlier, give us a good movie and then lead into the next. Don't just make it all about the next film.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, got to focus on the here and now for sure, and then have that balance of just having that proper foreshadowing,
yeah,
and just
agreed.
have it like that. That's the best part. That's the best way to do it for sure.
Agreed. Well, guys, I'm going to get going. I hear some more thunder rolling in. I'm just going to kind of call this one a little early and just kind of see what's going on out there. Go on, and I guess I'll see what type of warnings I'm under right now as this thing approaches. Hopefully, it's not that big of a deal. The sirens are off, but the warning says it's going till 4 a.m. And I'm like, oh, that's like usually like warnings are like, hey, you got a thunderstorm or tornado warning until an hour later. This one's all like it's all night, so I'm like, I'm not anticipating.
Wow.
Yeah, it's because it's so big and what is potentially happening now. Again, nothing could happen. That's what's weird. This storm could be forming. Nope, here comes the thunder and the hail. It's hailing right now, guys.
Oh, I actually heard a bit of that too.
So that's my cue. But I'm gonna go check out, see what's going on, guys. Thank you so much. We're gonna be back with part two, but it's not gonna happen until July. So we're gonna go see the movie, and then we'll talk about it then. In the meantime, though, make sure you follow Nick Luck on all of his stuff. He's been posting a ton of content, lady. I don't know who lady is. Lately, that's a different website. But times are tough. He's been posting a
Yeah.
lot of content, showing us some stickers, a lot of the new art, working on his books. I've tagged him and everything, so make sure you guys follow him, and we'll go from there. In the meantime, I'm gonna go take a look, see what's happening, and I'll be back next week on the Life of an Average Joe podcast. If I'm not back, then you know what happened. So,
Galactus.
Galactus. I'll buy the popcorn bucket if he just leaves me alone, dude. If $80 means I can keep my home, I'll give you $80.
It's a small price to pay.
Right? For your life. All right, man. Thank you for joining me, Nick. Always good talking to you, buddy.
Same here. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. I'll see you guys next week. Life of an Average Joe podcast. Peace.